How long does it actually take to receive funding from the Paycheck Protection Program, from step one to actually money in your bank account? Let's take a long, hard look at our PPPs. Okay, these jokes are getting a little bit out of hand, but I'm here to give you a realistic timeline update based on my experience of helping literally hundreds of thousands of people apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. So I'm going to explain all the steps that happen in the PPP loan process from start to finish and how long each step takes. That way you can actually have an idea of where you stand after you apply, and you can plan ahead a little bit. I know most people applying for this program, like, the funding is going to make a world of a difference for themselves and for their businesses, and you're sitting on the edge of your seat wondering, okay, when can I actually expect to receive this? And there's numbers all over the place. So I'm going to cover all the various steps and the various status notifications that you may receive so you know exactly what they mean and if you need to take any action. Now, when talking about the Paycheck Protection Program and its speed, I group the applications into two buckets: the traditional application and the fast lane application. Now, the fast lane application is a product through WOMPLY that I've been working very closely with. It's much faster because they automate the process to about a 5-minute application, and the lender processing time is cut down by about a week compared to the traditional application. However, this application is only for those who are self-employed with no employees and use a 1040 Schedule C tax return. So it's very narrow because of how automated it is, but about 40 million people in the US actually fit within that criteria, so a lot of people can use this product. It's by far the fastest way to apply and get funded, but it's not quite as fast as they claim on their website, which is kind of frustrating to me because I'm such a believer in this, but then people get kind of unrealistic expectations. So I'm here to give a realistic timeline. That way you aren't going to have your hopes up that funding is going to come at some specific day. We're going to be more realistic about it. And I'm going to talk about that timeline here in a minute. The application link to that Fastlane product is in the description of this video. If you haven't yet applied, you still want to apply as soon as possible. Now, the second bucket is regular applications. This is the normal application process through any SBA approved bank. Any entity type can apply through the normal application, but it requires much more documentation like payroll verification, more on your tax returns. With the Fastlane product, all you need is your Schedule C, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. With the regular application, you just need more proof and documentation, and it adds about a week in lender processing time compared to the Fastlane. If you need a lender here, that same link in the description will direct you to the regular application. As long as you answer the questions correctly, you'll get directed to the proper place. Now on to the timeline, each and every step. Step one, you enter and submit your information and documents. For Fastlane, this takes about 5 minutes because you just need that one document, your 1040 Schedule C. As long as your social security number is on the top there and you have your gross income line, you're going to be good to go. For the regular application, you need a bit more documentation, and this will take 20 to 30 minutes to fill out the whole application. As long as you know what you're doing, I have videos that break down how exactly that process works as well. Step two, your information is under internal review. This takes 2 to 3 days. It's just basically a preliminary review to make sure you are who you say you are, your business is who you say it is, and your income levels are correct compared to your documents. This can take 2 to 3 business days. Step three, your lender preps your SBA loan application. So it's just another cross-check to verify, again, you and your business before it gets sent off to the SBA. It's like a security check before the SBA security check. There's checks all the way. This takes 3 to 9 days currently. Now, this is where we see a dramatic increase in speed compared to the regular application. On the fast lane, it's 3 to 9 days. On the regular application, this can easily take 20 plus days. So that's where you save a bunch of time. Step four, your lender sends you your SBA loan application to sign. This takes 5 minutes. Before you can sign, though, you need to provide answers to some knowledge-based questions based on your history to prove your identity. And if you fail that, I'm going to talk about that in a second, how you can re-trigger the application. But you electronically sign your documents, and now your application is on its way, submitted to the SBA. Step five, now the SBA reviews your application. This is the longest chunk of time here. This takes 12 to 20 days typically, but this should be cut down a little bit in the near future. From here, you're either approved or denied. If you're denied, you actually will receive that notification more quickly than if you are approved. So if it's processing for a while, that's actually kind of a good sign. Step six, you sign your closing documents. This is your promissory note from your lender. This basically means the SBA has approved you. You are good to go. Funding will be in your account at some point soon. This is another DocuSign, takes 2 minutes. And then finally, step 7 is funding from your lender. This can take 3 to 5 business days. Basically, the SBA has approved you, you've signed your documents, now funds just need to be sent to your bank account and they just need to be processed, and then you have this money. So in totality, for the fast lane, we're looking between 20 days and 27 minutes. We're going real specific here, and 37 days and 27 minutes as a realistic time frame range. So 20 to 37 days from the time you click submit on your application. For regular applications, you can add about 10 days to that. So 30 days to 47 days realistically. Now, I will say this is on the longer side of the spectrum. I've heard of many people who have actually been approved in like a week or 10 days, but we're not going to set any unrealistic expectations based on these outliers. I would way rather say expect 30 days and then you get funded in 15 days, then say expect 15 days and you get funded in 30 days. That way you're not coming back to me saying, hey, this is what you said. We're going realistic. Now, if you file for round 2, if you apply for round 2 through the fast lane, you're going to go through step 3 through 7 again. And this is going to happen 2 to 3 weeks after you're funded for the first draw. So if you're already funded for the first draw, wait 2 to 3 weeks and you will start that process for the second draw. And then the second draw will again take about 17 to 30 days for processing and actually have funding in your bank account. Now let's cover some common questions and common notices and what exactly they mean. First common question is, I failed my security questions on my DocuSign. What do I do? And you can request another DocuSign by logging into this link. I'm requesting a new DocuSign. This can take 48 hours to process before you actually receive that new DocuSign. Next question, how do I check the status of my loan? You can log in at this link. This is very helpful. Check that out if you're wondering where you are. Now let's do some definitions. If your application says started, this means the application has been started, but it's incomplete and has not been submitted to WOMPLY for review. You must complete the application to be funded. WOMPLY processing. This application has been submitted to WOMPLY for review and they're in the process of analyzing the information you provided. No action is needed here. Lender processing. The application has been validated by WOMPLY and submitted to an SBA approved PPP lender. No action needed. Lender processing. Monitor your inbox. The lender is processing your application and preparing to send it via DocuSign, so be prepared to receive that sometime soon. Borrower action required. Sign application. The application has been reviewed by your SBA lender and requires your review and signature. Check your email, check your junk folder, check your promotions folder. If you can, search in your inbox for WOMPLY if you can't see it anywhere, because it should be in your inbox. Lender submitting. This application has been signed by the borrower and is being submitted to the SBA for approval. Good to go, no action needed. SBA processing. This application has been submitted to the SBA for review. The SBA is either going to decline the application or approve the application. SBA approve. Lender processing promissory note. This application has been approved by the SBA. Good to go. And the lender is preparing the promissory note to be sent via DocuSign. Expect that in 3 to 5 business days at most. Borrower action required, sign promissory note. The application has been approved. The promissory note is in your inbox. Go ahead and sign that darn thing and get some funding in your bank account. Lender funding. This application is in the process of being funded by your lender. If the bank information you provided is valid, then you're going to receive a loan via ACH transfer. Important note here, lenders actually have up to 20 days after the date in which the PPP loan was approved by the SBA to fund your loan, but this isn't typical. Usually you receive funding in your bank account in a week or less, and more realistically, like 3 to 5 business days in most cases. Borrower funded. The application has been funded. The lender has sent money to your bank account. Borrower action required, fix errors. The application has errors. The information you entered into the web form did not match the information you uploaded. Usually this means you requested an incorrect loan size. Usually too much. WOMPLY canceled. The application has been canceled by WOMPLY. Typically this means you didn't provide enough information. You can reapply if you choose to do so. SBA declined, fixable. The application was declined by the SBA, but it appears the reason is fixable. So you're just going to have to apply again. Lender secondary review. I've seen this a lot of times. This application is undergoing a secondary review by the lender. It's basically a secondary security check and no action is necessary. It just may add a few additional days in processing time. So I think that covers most common errors. If you're still wondering what's going on in the PPP, join our community Discord. The link is in the description. Also, if you enjoy this video, make sure you like it and give me a subscribe if you feel I deserve it. So I would like to thank you for watching and I hope you have a profitable day.